Hey everybody, welcome back to a new video. So today guys, I'm going to start the build on the new SkyStars X140 drone build kit. So I've actually already started. I put the frame together. This was in the previous video, so it was really easy. So you get a bottom plate and you get a top plate here, and then the arms go in the middle of that. You get four, or actually 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 8 of these longer screws, and that's what holds the arms and these 2 middle screws right here in. And then also in the package you get 2 skinnier little ones, and that's where those stands go, up through the middle there. So you can kind of see that. Kind of hold it up there. So those are the longer screws, and those are the shorter, skinnier screws, but those hold the standoffs for the board and everything like that. So first thing what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my ESCs out here. So we're going to start working on this little guy. So first thing what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to solder on my connector for the battery lead, and then after that I'm going to go ahead and start soldering on the motors to the individual ESC pads. So that's what it looks like there. So your battery pads are right back here, and if you look really super close, you can see a plus and a minus. I think the plus is, yep, a plus is on this side and a minus is on that side. So it probably won't zoom in, but you can kind of just barely see it there. And then of course you've got your normal ESCs. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting the soldering going on this, and then I'll show you guys how far I am. Okay, so far I have soldered on the battery connector. Again, I'm using a JST right now for the meantime until I get some XT30 connectors, because that's what all my batteries are right now. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some solder on these pads, and I'm going to go ahead and solder up these motors to the ESCs. Okay guys, so as you can see I've gotten all the motors soldered on to the ESC here, and of course this is the way it's going to sit on the top there. So or actually sorry, this is the way it's actually going to sit. So this is, and you can kind of just barely see on the board. You won't be able to see it. This is motor number 1. This can be number 2, 3, and 4. So they're already. So basically, what I did was just like my other builds. I went ahead and basically soldered these straight up. The next one I crisscrossed these, and then these ones are straight up, and then crisscross those ones as well. So those are already all taken care of, so they should spin the right way, and if not I can always change it up since these are BL heli. So the next step what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put this onto the actual frame itself, and then I'll go ahead and kind of sink that down a little bit, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright guys, so here was the next step. The next step was I went ahead and put on the next set of brackets there, or spacers for the stack, and then I went ahead and also screwed on all the motors underneath. Now you'll notice that I ran the wires this way, and the reason I did that was I didn't want to run them from the outside. I wanted to run them from the inside, make it look cleaner, and then what I'll do is when I'm done I'll just go back and wrap these up with a little bit of electrical tape, so that way it looks really nice and clean and smooth when it's done. So far we're doing pretty good. I'll go ahead and also put on my my prop nuts just so I don't lose them. And looks like these are all the same. They're all just the normal, you know, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So just keep that in mind. So when you tighten down your props and everything like that. So I kind of like when you get the props that are or the motors that come reverse direction, which is nice. So that way you can just kind of makes it easier to put the nuts and know, you know, which side is which. But there we go. So there it is so far. So that's what we've got so far. So we've got our ESC, we've got our motors soldered up, we've got our power connector soldered up. We've got everything on there. So the next step is going to be putting the flight controller on, and then the VTX on, and then basically once we get that far, then we're going to start basically going in and putting everything in. Everything is plug and play on this guy except for the receiver. So the receiver is on order. I should get that in the next couple days when you guys see the next part of the build video here. So I'm at a stopping point. You guys won't see this when it's finished. It'll be all one big long video. So, but that's where we're at so far. So the next step is putting the flight controller on, and once we get there, guys, I will show you the next step. Alright everybody, so like I was saying before, the next step was installing the flight controller. So you can see I've already put on the flight controller. It was pretty easy. Everything was plug and play. I've installed also the buzzer on the back here and the LEDs. That was one of the last things I had to solder, and then also one of the last things I had to solder was as well as the receiver. So pretty much everything is done. Here's the camera. Here's the VTX. Everything is pretty much installed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hook it up to a battery real quick, and we'll just make sure that everything is working. And then as long as it's good, then I can button everything up and call it good. Alright, so as you guys can see, I've got the battery hooked up. There's the LED on the back. I got my 3S, and receiver is on. I've got to bind that. I checked out the camera, and it does have on-screen display, which is freaking phenomenal. See, I didn't know they didn't have that information in the instructions, so I didn't know if it had on-screen display or not. So that is pretty freaking cool. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and basically I'm going to put this up and mount it to the top or underneath the top bracket, and then I'm going to go ahead and mount my camera to the side plates where the camera goes, and then I'll chop these off. These are those that are holding on the LED bracket on the back there, and then I think we're going to call it good. So I will show you guys in just a minute here when I am done. Alright guys, so here it is. Here is the X140 SkyStars. It's completely built. I've got the receiver tucked in under there, and I got my antennas coming up here. They're kind of long, so it kind of looks like a bunny rabbit or something like that. There's the LED on the back. I actually flipped it upside down because if you'll notice, there's kind of like a little bridge kind of underneath where it has a little thing, so I flipped that back around again. And yeah, so that's what it basically looks like. There's the camera in the front. So I'm really impressed with this little build. So next what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hook it up into the Betaflight. I'm not going to bore you guys with that part of it. Make sure everything's spinning correctly, and so basically the next video you guys will see will be it outside at the park, and we're going to rip it around and test this little guy out and see just how well it does. So guys, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button for me, guys. If you like my channel, if you like my tips, tricks, reviews, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want. And next to there's a little bell. If you hit that bell, just let you know when we got new videos. I have one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and every other Sunday, or every Sunday for now, we have a live Q&A. So thank you guys for all the comments, all the support. I really do appreciate that. And keep coming back. I appreciate it. Thank you to each and every one of my patrons. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And in the meantime, while you're waiting for the next video, guys, let's keep our drones up in the air, flying high. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging out.